Welcome, everyone, to Music Junkies, a podcast about people sharing extraordinary stories about how music has impacted their lives.
All right, welcome everyone to Music Junkies. I'm your host, Annette Smith, and today our guest is Canadian drummer, best known for his work with Canadian rock singer Biff Naked. He's been drumming with Biff Naked since 2024. He also has pursued a career as a studio musician, working with many. What's that? Oh, did I say 2004?
Yeah, well, I'm a rookie, I guess. Yeah.
Oh my God. Jeez, better go back there. Let's start again. All right. Our guest today is Canadian drummer, best known for his work with Canadian rock singer Biff Naked. He's been drumming with Biff Naked since 2014. He's pursued a career as a studio musician, working with many independent artists, TV spots, commercials, and video game soundtracks. He's been a drum consultant for Canadian singer Avril Lavigne, and his new project, Stars Unhinged, which he is a drummer and producer for. I think what I believe that you love the most, though, is that you're a rescue dog daddy, and I love that about you. 100%. So please welcome Chiko Mizumali. I love it. Welcome to Music Junkies.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you too. I know that we've been going back and forth for a long time, so I'm glad that your schedule lined up and we were able to get you moving forward and have you on the show. But before we dive into your playlist, I just kind of want to ask you, what was your process putting your playlist together for me today?
I think I tried to do it just as quick as possible. When I thought about 10 songs, I was like, I think it got to the point where I had probably 30 songs because I didn't think of the actual song. I thought about something that happened during that song or why this song or this song was playing when something was going on. So it came really quickly, and then I had to cut it down and say, no, I can't say that to other people. I better move on.
Did you find yourself going down a rabbit hole, like a certain age for a little bit, and then you jumped out? Did you notice any of that kind of stuff?
I realized that I probably did not, nothing during school, nothing in my teens. A lot of that was always very beginning and then the last 10 years. So I don't know what happened to those, middle 30 years or so.
Maybe you don't want to share that stuff.
No, that's not. Yeah, that stays in Vegas. I'm saying.
That's right. It's very interesting when people come up with their playlists, because sometimes it is like from 14 to 18 and then that's it.
Yeah.
Or it's like the last kind of 5-10 years. So I always find that there is big gaps. Yes. Or I find that people do send me, I had one guy send me 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
6 hours. And I was like, okay, you got to pick 10 songs. He goes, honestly, Annette, you can pick 10 songs from any of that playlist and I'll have a story behind it. I was like, wow.
Yes.
That's insane.
I think in my teens is when I started really going to a lot of concerts. I go to 2 concerts a week. And so I probably could have given you probably 100 songs, but they'd all be the same because they're all Hair Nation, Big Bon Jovi, Motley Crue kind of stories, because that's my era.
Me too.
So I thought, I think everybody knows how huge I am into 80s spandex, Ice Mist, giant hair. Yeah. So maybe I'll just stay away.
I love it. So have you lived in Vancouver forever, or?
I've lived in Vancouver since 1980, I guess, 1978 or so.
So at least you're in a great city for concerts. Like I'm from Nanaimo, so we would catch the ferry over all the time. And that was when the ferry was fun. We would just be 13, 14.
And it showed up all the time. Yeah.
All our rocker outfit. And then we'd go up top the deck and drink before the concert. And then, we would catch the ferry back and it'd be a gong show. And
would you go to the Pacific Coliseum?
Yeah.
I saw probably 100 shows there between 14 and 17, right? I mean, 3-4 a night sometimes, a week, sorry.
I wish Calgary was like that. We get some good ones, but not like Vancouver, where you're every weekend there's going to be something really cool to go see and great pubs to go see independent artists at. Right. I feel like Calgary does have a little bit of that, but not a lot of the stuff that I really like.
Right. But Calgary's got all the festivals now.
They're starting to get more and more. Yeah.
We barely play in Alberta these days. I mean, we always play in Alberta or Ontario. We're hardly ever.
Really?
There's, once every 2 years, maybe. I don't think we played here last year. We played here the year before. And no, we're always in Alberta. When my dates start coming, I'm like, oh, where in Alberta am I going? And where in Ontario am I going?
So are you a Canuck fan?
I am. I used to be a huge Canucks fan, and
like Pavel Bure days back.
Oh yeah.
Me too. Me too.
Pavel, Kirk McLean, and
yes,
I was huge Canucks fan.
Yeah, and, I was too.
I think what year was it? Maybe 2011. I think Vancouver played Chicago Stanley Cup. That kind of started my decline. And then Vancouver played Boston, and I was just like, I'm out. Like, I can't do this anymore. It's too stressed out. Yeah. In the last 10 years, this is the first year I've actually started watching them again.
That's so weird. Me too. Yeah.
And I felt the stress all over again. Like, I just chest is tight, but and I've realized I don't know anybody on the teams.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, yeah, I'm like, who's that young kid?
Yeah. I know when we watched the game on Friday, and my husband is a huge Oilers fan. Yep. So they showed what were they showing? Because we watched the Oilers and the Vancouver game back to back. It was so bizarre.
Yep.
But they were showing a car being smashed, and I thought, oh my God, is that from like the riots, or is that them just coming and smashing a car?
Yeah, that's about when I was just like, oh man, don't associate me with that craziness.
I know, it was weird. I was like, I don't know what they're trying to do here. Is there an underlying message? And
I was at a little pub with probably 10, 12 of us. We're out in North Burnaby.
Oh, nice.
And there was a bar that used to be like a rock and roll 80s, Bon Jovi bar, I guess.
I love it.
And we were there watching the game. The place is called the Old Admiral Pub. It used to be called the NBI back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And we got out of there, and we looked downtown, and we saw like smoke and all that crazy stuff. And we're like, I don't think I want to go downtown. I lived in Burnaby at the time, so after that, I remember just watching it, like just on the news over and over, going, what are you guys thinking?
I know.
And I was pretty much out. And I was just like, I used to change my rehearsals around Canuck games. So I was like, hey, you want to rehearse on a Tuesday, Thursday? Hang on, let me check. No, I can do Wednesday. I can't do Hockey Night in Canada. I can do Sunday. And it really took over.
Wow.
That's how deep I was into Canucks hockey.
I had a friend in Burnaby, and we've been to that pub.
Oh, have you?
Mm-hmm. Quite a few when I would come and visit her. Yeah, that's
it's great.
I miss Vancouver a lot. We used to go to Celebrities a lot.
Yep.
Roxy a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you in Vancouver during the time where it was there used to be bars called like the Metro and Club Soda, and
yeah.
I remember sneaking in there when I was, I think, 18, and I was like, this is the greatest place on earth.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time there until it burned down. It wasn't me.
I love it. That's awesome. All right. You ready for your first song?
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. I love your playlist. It's so awesome.
Excellent.
Yes. They were just here too.
They were just here.
Oh.
That one, I love them. One of my absolute favorite bands. I have two that I would get tattooed. I don't, but I would. I'd get Kiss on one side. I'd get old school Van Halen on the other. Like that's how I grew up. King of the Nighttime World. First concert. I moved from Glasgow, Scotland. I was a young kid. Moved straight to the West End. 8 years old, I guess. My brother's 4 years older than me. In 1979 or 80.
Wow.
My older brother wanted to go to a concert. My mom said, yeah, but you have to take him. And it was a Kiss Dynasty tour.
Wow.
Pacific Coliseum, all the original members. And I remember looking at that going, wow, I totally want to do that. And it wasn't even the drummer. I love, it was just, it didn't matter who I just want to be in that band. It didn't matter what instrument I was playing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm from, I don't even know how many times I've seen them. With makeup, original lineup, different lineup, everything. And I saw the End of the Road tour. Well, the first End of the Road tour.
Yeah, they were just in Calgary in September, November. And me and my girl, we've been best friends since, we were 11 years old. And when I moved to Calgary, I actually moved her out here.
Oh,
Right.
really? You're coming.
So you're coming with me. So
Yeah.
we just went and we seen, I didn't even know that I had VIP ticket.
Wow, yeah.
So like on the day of the show, I got this email saying, hey, you need to be here at this time and blah, blah, blah. And I like text her. I'm like, oh my God, apparently we have to be there at 3. We got VIP tickets and I didn't even know. So we had like a really small, intimate concert. Like there was like 100 of us.
Nice. That's a sound check concert. So...
Yeah, like it was such a good
that's
idea.
cool. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so they had no makeup on, and then obviously, and I've never seen them in concert. I don't ever remember them coming to Calgary.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was unreal though.
Yeah. I was actually really sad on the last show. Like I watched it on TV on the last concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's my childhood. That is pretty much my wall in my bedroom was just wall to wall Kiss posters. Like you couldn't even see wall. Loved everything that they did.
Did you have any other posters besides Kiss? Like did you have like any girls on your wall? Any girls
posters? Probably Charlie's Angels or something.
Oh, not Alanis Morris or no, Alyssa Milano?
No. I'm out there.
I was at a house party a little while ago and I was asking like, hey, who is your childhood female crush? And it's like 9 guys said Alyssa Milano. And I was like, really? Oh, wow.
No, I'm probably going, well, they were probably a lot younger than me then. Because I'm probably going, probably Farrah Fawcett was huge at my time. That was it was Farrah Fawcett, Wonder Woman. I can't remember her name. That kind of.
What kind of guy were you growing up in high school?
Probably, I think I was probably quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably a quiet kid because I remember when I say, we moved from Glasgow, my family, straight to the West End. And so I went straight to an elementary school downtown Vancouver, Lord Roberts. And so here's this black kid and his brother, myself and my brother. And I think we were probably the only black kids there.
Wow.
And to move there and I think, which is weird, they put me in English as a second language course, like ESL class. And I was in there, I remember with an Asian kid, I can't remember his name, but a South Asian kid, Jamal. And I remember the 3 of us, and I'm like, why are we in here? I've never spoken anything but English, but, I came from Scotland. You couldn't understand me. So I don't know what he's speaking, but put him in that class.
I was going to say, you've lost your accent.
Absolutely. Wait till if I start drinking, it'll come back.
So what was your first instrument that you picked up and started playing?
I started on guitar, and that was in music class. Yeah, I started guitar, and it was always a lot of the Beatles and stuff, because I remember my music teacher, a huge Beatles fan. So there'd be like 20 acoustic guitars all trying to play, and a couple. Oh no, you know what? I probably learned the recorder actually. I went back to elementary school. Right? Yeah.
I love it. Do you remember what was your influence? Like, what did your mom listen to? What did your dad listen to?
My dad passed away when I was probably not even 3, and that's why we moved from Scotland to here. And my mom had a sister here, and her parents were here. And so I think with my mom, it was probably a lot of Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
And there was probably Tom Jones. I remember that. I'm not sure if that was my mom. I also have 5 aunts who most of them lived here also. So it was always like Tom Jones, and there was Elvis, and then of course it was like Saturday Night Fever. It was just like disco heaven. I think that's where my love for disco right now comes from. I love disco.
Love that. So. My parents were 11 years apart. So my dad was like Blueberry Hill, that kind of stuff. And then my mom was like Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones kind of thing. And I so appreciate it because I love all kinds of music.
Yes.
Like I always feel sad for people who are like, I just love metal. I'm like, you're losing out on so much other music.
Absolutely. It's kind of weird. I find it kind of weird that, I mean, I think people are surprised that in the Biff Band, like our playlist when we travel is like so extreme, like from one end to the other. It's ridiculous. Like, and probably a lot of it is not heavy. We'll get some crazy Arabic death metal or something weird that she'll put on every once in a while. but a lot of it, we listen to a lot of yacht rock, kind of disco, R&B, TLC, like just everything. The best things about, online streaming and playlists, I guess, is that you could just pop in something crazy.
That's right. I love it.
But I love metal too. Like I love metal. Everyone knows in my building here when I'm cleaning the house, because it's like Pantera, Slipknot, everything. Oh, Chiko must be vacuuming. He's got the Pledge and the Windex out.
I love it. All right, next song.
Yes.
All right, Van Halen.
Oh my goodness.
Chained.
Game changer. I was a Kiss fan my whole life growing up, but with my older brother, again, I think he brought home, it must have been Women and Children First, or all I remember is Van Halen 2, Women and Children First, and Fair Warning. And he had all these albums, records, and that changed the whole game for me. I was like, I loved Kiss, but I think I realized that Kiss was more of a show, and Van Halen was like, this is just the most amazing thing I have ever heard. And I'm still a huge fan of Van Halen, like huge. I met Michael Anthony in California quite a few years back, and I was like, I'm talking to him, and I'm talking about old Van Halen and the background vocals he did on Fair Warning album and all this. And my friends are looking at me go, dude, I thought you have tears coming out your eyes.
How did you feel about them, like David Lee Roth and then Sammy Hagar? Like, where was your thought process there?
I will always be a Dave fan. And when it first came out, 5150, I think the first album was Sammy. When it first came out, I just wanted any Van Halen because I was really a huge Eddie and Alex fan.
Yeah.
And so it didn't matter. There was new Van Halen. It didn't really feel like a Van Halen album to me. Yeah. But at that same time, David Lee put out his Eat 'em and Smile, I think, album. And I went to go see that tour. And I saw that tour and I was just like, okay, I saw the 5150 tour, the Eat 'em and Smile, and the Eat 'em and Smile just was like something I've never seen before. That was unbelievable. Musicianship was crazy.
I would have loved to seen that, like hearing him do Yankee Rose.
It was
love to see that.
Yeah, like and Billy Sheehan, Steve Vai, like it was just unbelievable. Later on, I started to appreciate the Sammy Van Halen. So one of my faves is probably the OU 812 album. I listen to that. I listen to things like the songs Cabo Wabo and You Finish What You Started. I'm like, wow, this is really good. But then if I put on like Van Halen, Fair Warning or Diver Down, I'm like, that's Van Halen to me. I wouldn't have minded change it to Van Hagar. Like, like the name wise, change it up and have two different. But maybe, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Have you ever been to Cabo Wabo Bar?
I have. I played there on my birthday. And
no way, yeah, that's a lot 30th.
Of fun. Really?
Yeah.
I absolutely love. Yeah, my 30th too, time plus 20.
Yeah,
my wife said, we're going to Mexico for your birthday. And I said, okay. Yeah, let's go. I'm good. And we used to go to Puerto Vallarta all the time. And this time she goes, no, let's try the other side. We're going to Cabo. Because she spent a lot of time on that side. And I guess just walked around, ate tacos and had some drinks. And we met people on one of those boat cruises. And they were from Toronto and some from Vegas. And after a couple of days of hanging out, they said, what do you do? I said, I play music. I'm a musician. Oh, well, what kind of music you play? I play rock and roll. Oh, what's your band called? I said, it's called Biff Naked. And they went, wait, what? I said, do you know who we are?
Yeah.
And we all went out to Cabo Wabo on my birthday that night. And I actually messaged on private message to Sammy, who I don't really know. I've met him through friends, but I don't know. Oh, I'm going to, Cabo Wabo and it's going to be great. So we get, and someone sends a message. It goes, go see Jorge. I'm not there, go see Jorge. And that's all the contact I had. So I'm like, wow, this is cool. We went in, we got a table. We had our friends there. We're doing some drinking. Then the band said, Chico's birthday. I'm like, what? So they got me up. I'm playing disco songs. And it was a really great experience. So to revert, I love Sammy. Best era of Van Halen ever. Thanks, Sam.
Did you make it down to El Squid Row at all when you were in Cabo Wabo or in Cabo?
I can't remember. No,
I actually saw Marlin.
Yeah, I went pretty much everywhere. But for me, it was I think it was just more relaxing. Like we
Yeah, that's
rented a
beautiful
car and
summer.
just drove up to Todos Santos and
Yeah.
ate tacos up there and hit beaches where there was like nobody on it for miles. It was really more of a chill.
I love
So
that area. We're
I
gonna
went to
go.
Gus's taco place every night. And I went in there and realized that they had $5 for 2 Coronas and 2 tequilas. And I was like, wow, what a bargain. And my wife doesn't drink tequilas. So every time we ordered, I had 2 tequilas and a Corona.
It's probably $75 now.
That's right. So that's, you're not lying. You're not lying. I was in Puerto Vallarta just a few months ago. And every bucket of Coronas that was $5 is now like a $5 Corona, but they're the little guys, what can you do? People
What
got to
can you
live, I
do?
guess. Yeah.
Inflation. You just got to remember good old days, and then you're fine.
Absolutely. Like ladies' night at Club Soda, I get $1 drinks.
Yeah, I remember those nights. Those were
Yeah.
bad nights. Like, oh, you can really drink 30 drinks if you want to. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
And back in
That's
the
why I
day,
don't drink Sambuca anymore, and I
oh,
can't drink tequila like gold anymore. It's got to be nice tequila now, or mezcal. Like
Yep.
it can't be like somebody brings out the gold, and I get a smell of that. I'm like, oh,
you're done.
No Sambuca either.
Isn't it weird that they'd have time limits? Like you have 2 hours to drink as much as you can. And the waitress would come by a table and go, guys, you got 5 minutes left. Do you want to place an order? We'd order like 30. Vodka sevens, rum and cokes. Remember back then it was like paralyzers and white Russians and Long Island iced teas. We'd have a table just full of them. And these days they never let that
and then
happen.
you wonder why you're puking at 2 a.m. from milk and
you're like, alcohol poisoning and the sugar was. But it's okay because you'd all meet at like Denny's at 4 a.m. anyways, and then Red Robin at noon, and you'd be just fine.
Yeah. When's the last time you did something like that?
Just went out of control?
Yeah.
Probably I think in Vegas, I usually have one night where I really kind of go drinking.
Stay up late, go drinking.
I stay up late, I go drinking, and I'm not really good at it anymore, but you got to do it every once in a while to realize why you don't do it at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't, not
it
a
hits
lot.
Me different now.
It hits different. I was in, which will come back to one of the other songs, I guess that's coming. But I was in Vegas once, myself and my wife and my buddy Frankie, who lived down there. And through Frankie, I met one of his best friends at the time, Vinnie Paul, who was a drummer, great drummer. And we'd go see Vin all the time. And we'd go to different bars. And one night, myself, my wife, Frankie, and Vinny all went to the Carrot Top show. So Vin was like, dude, come on, you got to come see Carrot Top. He's so hilarious. And we went out to the show. And I think I spent most of the time laughing with Vinny because we're looking at my wife and she's laughing so hard that Vinny would look up every once in a while and go, damn, man, I don't think she's going to come up for air because she's like just losing it. But we drank so much that night. And then we went to Mandalay Bay and Vin, he used to be able to kick it back quite a bit. I think I spent another 2 days in Vegas, and I think by the time I got home, it was the next following weekend. I was back in Vancouver, and I still felt a little bit off. But, some guy, when you live in a place like Vegas, it's nothing to you. You go home, you get up, you go have scrambled eggs, you have a couple drinks, and no, not me. I just couldn't do it. That's the last time I ever did anything like the 80s.
It's hard. It's hard.
Oh, yeah. No, not easy.
I love it. All right, next song.
Okay.
Fool if you don't know the beginning of that song.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I've seen them. I think I've seen them 3 times too.
Wow.
Here I go again. Fond memories. Definite fond memories. So one of my friends used to be a Vancouver Canuck, and his name's Brad May. And Brad and I used to hang out in Vancouver, and I had a house gig at a bar called the Bar None right in Yaletown. So every night somebody would walk in, and it was always like Messier or Kirk McLean or somebody would come in. And I remember Brad got traded. I think he was in Detroit, but he got traded to Anaheim Ducks. And Anaheim was doing really great right at the trade deadline, like that day. And I talked to him the day before, and I said, Brad, I feel like you might get traded here. He goes, dude, I think I'm going to California, and I think I'm going to win the cup this year. Like he kind of knew it was like manifesting, I think.
Yeah.
He goes, I think I'm going to win the cup. He got traded to Anaheim. So my wife and I went down to Anaheim, hung out with Brad a little bit during the days, and he had practices and stuff, and then went to a game that night. And just before the game's over, during intermission or something, I get a text message from Brad. He goes, dude, after the game, don't go back to the hotel. Come up to the top floor. I have your name at the door. Come eat dinner with the team.
Wow.
So we went upstairs and ate dinner with the team. And well, being an Edmonton person, I remember sitting at the table and all these players are walking by. I'm like, holy jeez, that's Getzlaf and that's here and this is whatever. And then I look over from behind, I see Chris Pronger walking towards me, and I got this evil eye because I've only seen him on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here comes that Chris Pronger guy. And he comes walking over and he walks to our table and goes, hi, how are you guys? Who are you here with? And I said, with Brad. Oh, nice. He's new. He's probably lost in the locker room trying to figure his way up here. And he sat and talked to us for a while. And he was a super nice guy. He talked about Vancouver, talked about what a great team and the city. And then once Brad came up, he goes, anyways, nice talking to you guys. And then he went and joined the rest of his teammates. And I was like, damn it. I used to hate that guy. Now I love him. But that night we went for dinner, and then Brad said, we're going to this little bar called Sharky's, and I think it was in Huntington Beach, somewhere down there. So we got in Brad's car and we drove down to this bar called Sharky's, and we get in there and it's like Getzlaf and Corey Perry and Brad and George Peros and a whole bunch of us. And George Peros would come and drop like 20 beers in the middle of the table, walk away, all open, big mitts, drop them in, and we just be shooting them back. And I just remember standing on a table in the bar with Brad and Peros and all these guys singing "Here I Go Again."
That's awesome.
Top of our lungs. And Brad won the cup that year. So manifesting. So that song, every time I hear that or Don't Stop Believing, I think of the Ducks winning the cup. I think of Brad telling me, dude, I feel it. I feel like this is my year and I'm going to get the cup. And manifesting, like a premonition of sorts, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you feel like you are more in tune to manifesting now where you are in your age than you were, say, 20 years ago?
100%.
Or have you always been? Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, it's, people think some things are hokey, some are not. People tell me, they're like, Chiko, you're actually a very psychic person, And I was like, you think so? I thought maybe I'm just positive. I think everything good's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I feel I do. It is kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing to talk about, but I'm also a big believer in aliens. I'm a believer in everything. I'm not just a, singular. Nope, it doesn't compute, so I'm not thinking it, But I think I think you really can manifest things, good and bad.
Yeah.
I have some people go, oh man, this is just the worst day ever. I can't believe how can this get worse? And I was like, dude, a lot of people use the term FML when they they go, oh, FML. And I really do not like the term. I even don't like when I get it. I think, there's got to be something better here, man. Like, don't, things, I think they manifest themselves. And like, I just stay positive and positive, good things happen. But,
I think you have a choice. I'm a huge believer in choice.
Have a choice. Yeah.
And I hate that word, I'm busy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's like, it's okay to be busy, but it's almost like it's become a bragging rights now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, you're not that busy. Like,
you're not that busy
first of all, you don't have any children, right? Like, I don't know what you're doing with your after school program at 4:00. And my kids are grown up, but like, it's always the people that, are dinks, they have no kids. They have really not they work as a teacher. They're done at 3:00. They have summer off. It's like, what are you busy doing?
What are you busy doing?
Lost is recorded. You could go back and watch it. I don't know what you're busy doing.
Yeah. Do you think it's become just a general term?
Yeah.
To say, I'm busy? Because I could probably, I don't know if I ever say I'm busy. I'll say, oh man, I've got some stuff I got to take care of, and take care of might be, boy, I got to go to a funeral. Or for me, it's, I really like hanging out with my dogs. So sometimes, it's, yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. I can't do it. Oh, what did you do? I walk my dogs for 4 hours, I don't know. But
what kind of dogs do you have?
I have a 2-year-old chocolate lab.
Okay.
Penny Lane.
That's a great name.
Yeah, and Elaine is spelled Lane from Lane Staley, Layne from Alice in Chains.
I love that.
Penny Lane, and I have an almost 15-year-old black lab border collie cross, Dexter, who is famous on Instagram as Dexter, the David Lee Roth of dogs. That's his tag because he is so cool and he's so chilled, and everyone sees him and goes, "That is the most chill dog I've ever seen in my life." And I have to tell people, he was like that when he was 6 weeks old.
Yeah, even with the border collie,
on-off switch. He used to go to the park, be the fastest dog on the planet, come home, and people will say, "Man, he's a good dog," and I usually just say, "What a lazy prick he is." I love him.
We have a Cane Corso Mastiff, and we bought that type of dog because we were informed that they're super lazy.
Yeah.
No, we're going for 5K freaking walks every morning. This dog does not stop. He's 8. He still is acting like a puppy. Apparently, they're not swimmers. He swims all the time. Like, I'm like, dude, you're driving me. Like,
yeah.
I have to lock him out of the studio because he'll just be in here. Like, he loves listening. He'll be laying by the door listening to the podcast. He just loves it.
Oh, that's hilarious. How many pounds is that dog?
He's 120.
Oh, yeah, just a wee guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, I love that you speak that manifestation language. Just, I find it more and more and more as I, get older. I feel like that whole realm helped me. One of the reasons why I kind of moved out of Nanaimo, as you know, like Nanaimo's like the drug and crime capital of Canada, right? Like it's like crazy. And I wanted a better life, I wanted a better life for my kids. And obviously I had no idea coming into Calgary, but just like wanting that and just believing that that was going to happen. Right.
And you could always just move back if you didn't like it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that, Biff is so positive all the time, and you can tell she's positive, and because she's positive, everyone and everything around her is always positive. Same time, you get one grumpy, moody person in the mix. After a while, either everyone turns grumpy or everyone says, "Yo, you know what? You need to leave." It's why do you want to? I just don't want to surround myself with with that kind of stuff anymore. Even on Facebook and stuff like that. I mean, it's not like I go and block everybody. I'm really good at just passing by and somebody goes, "Oh," they start spewing something about whatever. I'm just like, boom, I could just move on.
Yeah.
Move on to, "Hey, did you hear what that person?" I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time. Yeah, I don't give it the room. I don't give it space in my head. And some people aren't good at that. And I understand some people take things really personally and they get very emotional about it. I'm an emotional person. At the same time, I can turn stuff off, like click, gone. Yeah. Hey, did you hear what that guy said? No. But I had this great shrimp and pineapple pizza. I could just shiny right to something else,
I love it. All right.
I don't feel the need to have to correct people or put what I believe or what I think onto other people. And so I think you're actually trying to manifest on somebody else when everyone has their own thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Speaking
Holy, I'm like a preacher over there. I'm exhausted. I need a drink of this water.
I love it. The one, the only, Biff Naked.
Wow, make like a tree.
Yeah, I love it.
So I think that song is special for me.